All right, we're gonna get this started. So, what craziness are we doing today? So, recently, the Bring to Light Scapeshift Cabal has been thinking about whether or not there's a way to keep more hands that don't have green sources, because the deck really, you need to have a green source on 1 to play Search, green source on 2 to play Steve, and then you can kind of go from there. But if you don't have a green source on turn 1, what are you supposed to do? So, what we decided was we wanted to try out Arcum's Astrolabe because we're already playing Snowlands. So, why not try to play a card that if you, let's say, draw any of the basics, but you don't draw a green source, and an Astrolabe, you can now keep the hand because now you have access to all your colors. So, how did we get to here? So, we wanted to put 4 Arcum's Astrolabe in our deck. That's step 1. Then we need to cut cards for it because we're basically adding four of an artifact, but we don't have any. We have to have space for it. So what did Sungjin realize is, let's just play 64 cards. So what we're kind of doing here is we're keeping the ratios very similar. We're playing 1 more land because we're playing 64 and not 60. We're still playing 4 Astrolabe. We're playing the same amount of Killcons, although we still have a Drawn from Dreams, so it's kind of like a 7th Killcon because it's going to find you one of them. And besides that, the rest of the deck is very similar. So we're going to try 64 card. 64 card special here. The sideboard, very similar. Allows us to play a veto just because it's easier to cast when you have Astrolabe, and hopefully it will make the mana better. And so we're gonna jump into a league in a minute. I guess streaming during the middle of the day is not optimal, but all right, let's play some games. All right, we are going to get into round 1 here. Okay, so let's see. So this hand can produce a turn 3 Acid Moss, which could be good enough. We also have Astrolabe on turn 1 and Ice Fang. So we're going to keep this. Mountain. Are we playing against Burn? Seems like all we do on this stream is play against Burn. So this is no different. Although our hand is very well set up against Burn. So now the question is, what do we want to do on turn 1? And I think the answer is still Suspend Search. So we're going to get Forest here. And Astrolabe is going to set us up to be able to play things down the line. Them not starting on a creature is good for us, even though we do have the Bolt now, but we didn't have it before. They could have Eidolon here, which is why they kept the hand, and they do. So we really want to draw a... Actually, no, this is fine, because we can just shock for the Bolt. So let's shock this, Bolt this, and then play Astrolabe. And so next turn we're going to get to Acid Moss them, and then hopefully we can win from there. Or hopefully they have white cards and they can't cast them. That would help too. Okay, so they have the land, which isn't necessarily bad for us because they're going to probably get a white source here and play their white spell. And then we're going to get to Acid Moss them. So could be worse. Yeah, so there's the white spell. They probably have Skewer also. Yeah. So we basically are going to have to fade. Hey, Rob. Yeah, definitely. Casting Acid Moss is the best. So let's see. Probably just get blue here. We do have to Acid Moss. It does suck. We've got to take one here. Probably just get the plains. And then hopefully we can win. So if I draw an untapped land, we're going to win. Hopefully they have white cards and they can't play them. If we draw an untapped land, we can go Steve, go to 7, Scapeshift. So untapped land would do it here. If we had Bring to Light, we could get the Ochtice command, which would probably win us the game too, but we do have the Scapeshift here. Yeah, I'm thinking that streaming in the middle of the day is not the best, but this is when I was free and I did want to get a stream in so that we can go for affiliate. So that's good. Yeah. So it looks like, so this game we're really hoping that they have a bunch of white. They have the land, but they didn't do anything with it. So that signifies to me they might have one 3 damage burn spell and another land. So now we have to figure out how we can win this game without needing to take any more damage off of our land. So I think it starts by playing Astrolabe. Although we could just play the Drawn from Dreams. I think it's Astrolabe though. It could draw Cryptic Command. And it actually drew Cryptic Command. Okay. So yeah, now we just pass. That was definitely the best possible. Or they have 2 white spells here. No, they just passed. Interesting. Lava Spike me. So I'm tempted to just Cryptic this. We only lose to Boros Charm, but I think... What could they draw? I think they have Skewer in their hand, actually. So I think I do counter this. And draw. Make blue off this. Because this will also possibly set us up to kill next turn. Okay, we just need a land to kill. I think they have Skewer in their hand because they want to do this on my turn, but they didn't want to Skewer last turn. We did not find the land, though. So now... Yeah, it could be Blazes too, which is why we have to be cognizant of like playing guys. We are at 4. I want to stay at 4 because they probably have 3 in their hand. So we could go like, They have a Blaze. I think I want to cast the Search here. Because I want to die to a creature though. I guess I lead on Astrolabe. Yeah, let's lead on Astrolabe. Yeah, if we play a guy, we're going to crack. We would crack it for sure. This could draw a counterspell, so we're going to see we draw first. We drew the land, but it's unfortunately... Well, this is fine because it is a... We don't have to actually crack it. We definitely want to play this land. We're not going to crack it, though. So now we have 6. So I think we just pass now. Although I could just play this or play this. I guess I could just play Search here. And then we could still play a blocker if we have to. Get Island and then pass. And then next turn we have the win set up. So we gotta hope they don't have 2 burn spells here. They have another land. Okay. So we actually don't need to play this Quaddle because we already have 7. So there's no reason to play this. In case they have Searing Blaze and something else and a Bolt, then they can't kill us. Oh, I need to fix this actually. There we go. Yeah. So all right, so let's just untap. And we're just gonna play Scapeshift. Float some mana. Cast this card. Let's see what happens. They let it happen. Is that weird? Look, it like kind of moved up. That's kind of funny. So we're going to sack all of these. And we're going to get this. 3, 4, 5. I don't think so. They could. It's very true. Nothing we can really do about it. I have 18 damage on the stack. We're still at 4. They have to have Boros Charm or 2 spells. Nope, they scooped. Cool. So we win game 1 against Burn, which is excellent. Okay, so now we're gonna board. Timely forces, some number of removal spells, possibly veto. As far as what we want to cut, don't want the remans in the deck. Drawn from Dreams is slow. Acid Moss is slow on the draw. It's possible I want both sweepers, although I'm not sure. This is a lot of cards. Depends how much removal with. I think we cut probably the anger. Another question is how many cryptics I want. Probably not all 3. Maybe even just 1. This is 66. I want to keep in all the Teferis, I think. I don't know how much I like Veto on the draw. It's possible I don't want this card in my deck, since it is pretty slow. We don't want to die to creatures, though. I guess with Astrolabe, it makes Cryptic a lot easier to cast, so maybe I want more of those in my deck. I want a Braid. I don't think I want the Anger. It might just be cut all the Cryptics and like run something like this. And then on the play, maybe bring some Cryptics back in. Yeah, so that game, the Astrolabe really helped us out, not making us take too much damage off our lands. And then this game, we had early blockers, we have an Astrolabe, and we have a Timely to gain life, so this is definitely a keep. I think we might be onto something. Another thing with playing 60, I just played in the league, was that it was very hard to sideboard because we basically cut 4 cards for Astrolabe, and you can't really cut Astrolabe, so it made it so... I mean, I guess you could, but it made it so it was very hard to take out cards. So by playing 64, this is going to hurt a bit because we don't have a Bolt. Give us a Bolt. Okay, I'll take a land. It is a fetch land. I would prefer a basic. That is not a draw. Okay, so let's get Forest. And we'll just play this. Teferi. We're just going to discard this Valakut, I think. Because I don't see myself playing it anytime soon. We are going to take a lot of damage because of this Goblin Guide, which is why I want all the low removal. Another land, but it's not an untapped land. Again, like, as long as I don't have a Skullcrack for this Timely, I think we're going to be fine this game. Eidolon would also hurt a lot here. That's fine. They're just going to pass. Okay. They might have, like, another Skewer here. Yeah, so they have 2 Skewers. This is fine. We're taking a lot of damage. We did not draw the untapped land, so let's get an island and we'll play Steve. We're at 8, but we have gained 6, so I think we're going to be fine. See what's on top of our deck. Scapeshift is? I mean, we still have to just sack this and probably just get a white. Take it. They're passing, so they might have Skullcrack up, which is unfortunate. We did not draw anything. So now we have to basically decide whether or not we can take a turn to play Teferi and bounce. So if we play Teferi and bounce this, they could Boros Charm, play this, and then deal us 3. So it's possible we are just priced into playing this Timely, and if they have the Skullcrack, we're going to lose. Which I think is what I have to play. I don't think I could play around at this game, just because we drew a bunch of lands and no. If I had a Force of Negation here, then I might play differently. But given that we don't, or any, so that works. We gained the 6, so we should be in good shape now. We're gonna play. Let's get the Stomping Ground in play, and we're gonna pass. Another good thing about Astrolabe is that you have a really good Teferi target most of the time. I assume we're going to get Boros Charmed here. Okay, Helix is good because it's only 3. It's not Boros Charm, which is 4. I mean, yeah. Drawing another man would kind of suck. Okay, we go to 8. We'd have to figure it out if we did, but we'll get there when that happens. Okay, so I ideally do not want to take any more damage from my lands to the rest of the game, so we're going to play this to Fairy. Make them do something. I just want to play a bunch of tap lands. Probably going to bounce this Astrolabe and replay it, which is really cool combo. This will force the Bolt. They only have 1 card and we're at 5. Okay, so we're going to bounce our own Astrolabe here. Draw another Steve. We're going to play another Astrolabe. Ooh, that's a good one. So that's going to win us the game probably next turn. Yeah. Well, I mean, I love poppers, so I'm very down about bouncing Astrolabes. So it's not worth taking any more damage, so we're just going to play Steam Vents. We're not going to attack. There's no reason to. We have inevitability. Let me know if the mic is too loud. I raised it a bit before the stream. So they're going to... We basically have to just dodge for a turn here. We can dodge two burn spells. Creature doesn't do it. Land, Eidolon, none of these cards matter. They have a land. So now we can't die, so that's really good. If it's... they can't even Skullcrack us because we have the Teferi, so we're basically pretty safe here. Okay, that is... excellent magic card, Prairie Stream. Multi-format All-Star. So now we're going to play this Baloth, which will gain us 4. And then this will come into play untapped. So we just need to live to bouncing our own Baloth, which is really sweet. And we're just going to pass. This is going pretty well. It looks like we might be beating Burn here. They only have 1 card. It could be a land. They're passing. I'm not going to sack this yet. Drawing a lot of lands, but that's fine. We can attack here for 4. Could probably swing with everything, right? They're going to block there, take 6. I can leave maybe this back. Or we can just stack for 4. Let's play this. Get Island. Play this. Get Forest. Play this. Play this tapped. And so next turn we're going to get to... that's true. Yeah, that's one thing I forget, is I can do things with Teferi. Oh, they just scooped. Okay, so this turn we were going to, let's see, we would draw. And then I would attack for 4 and then bounce my own guy and draw. We would have gained 4, went to 13, and we probably just would have won by beating down. And the Scapeshift was close by. Okay, so 2-0 against Burn. Did not feel too hard. They didn't have like crazy draws, but their draws were pretty reasonable, and we were able to keep up with it. So good win there. It's funny is like even after playing 1 match, I like 64 card Astrolabe version more than 60. So that's kind of funny. Okay, so round 2, we're on the play. And it sounds great. We got our 2 ramp, we got our Astrolabes. Sounds pretty awesome, actually. They mult to 6. Are you? I mean, it looks decent. I don't know if it's better. But we're going to get Forest here. So the reason to suspend here is because we're going to get to play Astrolabes no matter what. But this way, we're going to get the mana on turn 3. Misty, go. Okay, so again, like this turn, we're going to play the Steve. We can always cycle these Astrolabes later, but we want to make sure we get the ramp in play. We're getting spell snared. No, okay, we're playing against Valakut. Okay, cool. So let's see if this version can beat the red-green menace. Yeah, so they have their own Steve. It is important to note that we have to get them to 18 ourselves, probably, but I still think I just sack this and get probably planes. They're sacking theirs. This will be able to attack them for 1, so I'm not too worried. Yeah, exactly. We're favored. We have like main deck Acid Moss or like 4 Bring to Lights and counter spells. I agree. Let's just get Forest. Another search. Okay. Again, we want to stay above 18, so we're at 19 right now, so this is good. So let's... I want to play the more mana intensive thing here, so I think I actually just... Oh no, I can't get a Forest. So let's get an Island. Let's just cast this. Put Island in play. Play this tapped and pass. Again, it just so happened this game that we didn't really need to, play Astrolabes early to fix our mana. They're playing Summoner's Pact this turn. So what are they going to get? Like, Tracker, maybe? Oh, they're just going to get Steve. Fair. Do they have no land? Okay, they have a land. Okay, so this works out really well. We're going to get to play this. We're going to get to attack them for 1. Okay, we now have like 4 draws at action, which we have not yet hit. Let's play this. Ooh, that's a card. All right, let's go again. That is not necessarily a card, but I think we're going to be very far ahead here. They have to pay 4 on their upkeep, so this way they're going to lose their entire turn. We're going to get the breeding pool. And then we could suspend this search if we wanted to. Is there a reason? Yeah, I mean, I guess it's fine. Alright, so now we have, whatever, 9 mana. They have 4. They have to pay for their turn. We just have to draw a Bring to Light or Scapeshift. Teferis are now draw 2s also, which is very relevant. We still have Drawn from Dreams, Cryptic, not Lightning Bolt. We will have to hit soon. They could play Primeval Titan now. There it is. Alright, we basically have a turn to hit now. We've gone, you know, quarter of our deck. Field of the Dead. Okay. So this is going to search. So we have, let's see, 2, 6, 9, 10, 13, 14, 16, 18, 21. So like half our deck. Okay, that's a redraw. So let's do that. And we unfortunately did not hit. So we likely die. I'll just leave this back. Likely die. Let's see if we die. They don't have the 5 mountains yet, so we may have another turn here. If they have the Scapeshift, we're going to lose, but... Okay. These zombies I don't really care about. So we're going to kill the prime time. We're going to block a zombie. We're going to bolt the other one. Take as minimal damage as possible here. And then hopefully they don't have Scapeshift. They have 5 mountains, so we're going to take... Looks like we might be dead here. They have another prime time or something. Yeah, so this is going to get 2 mountains and we're going to die. So yeah, we just didn't hit a Bring to Light or a Scapeshift. We did have plenty of draws, but that's what happens sometimes. This will deal us 9, so we're going to die. Astrolabe. No. We were not getting there. Okay, so against red-green. Okay. Against red-green, we are going to board in forces. They're going to have Veil. We want Veto. Crumble is excellent. Bolts aren't necessarily amazing. Neither is Supreme Verdict. Bolts are nice because they get the opponent down to 18, so we can kill them, but we still have creatures anyways. And the rest of these cards I think are better. Some life gain is interesting to stay above 18. But I think these are just the 4 worst cards in our deck. We still have to Teferi if we have to bounce anything. We stay at 64. I don't know if it's ever correct to go below 64. Or we can't. We can board up, but you can't board down. Okay, that's how that works. Okay. Yeah, so let's go with this. Again, we have 8 counter spells. Okay, so we got 2 ramp, we got 2 Steves, we have 2 Remans, and we have a Bring to Light, so this sounds excellent. We will have to get the opponent down to 18, so we may have to attack with these, but we have plenty of time, and this can stall or end up being our kill condition, depending on what we need. We also don't have to take any damage from our lands, which is really good when our life total is relevant. They have a Cinder Glade. Okay, we're just going to play the Steve here. We could hold up Remand, but we kind of want to ramp ourselves, especially because we don't have any lands. They have their own Steve, that's fine. I think we're going to sack here. Because we definitely need lands here. They're sacking 2. Okay. I'm going to get Forest so that we can play 2 spells next turn. Okay, we drew the land. So now, is there anything scary on 4 we have to think about? And I think the answer is no. So what we can do here is just double ramp and then hold up 2 Remands the following turn. So this can get... I don't want to shock though. This will get Plains and then we'll get Island. Yeah, I could do that. And they're at 18 because they took 2, so that's very convenient. Although it could be good to hold up Remand this turn. We could just do suspend this. Hey, Frank JJA, thank you for the follow. Welcome to the Swarm of Mats. All right, let's fetch this. Kind of an interesting turn, given that remanding their ramp is useful, but again, I don't think we need to. So I think we could just like play 2 ramps this turn, go to 6, and then next turn, if we don't draw the land, we have 2 remands, and then we still have the win lined up. So now we're going to get Island with our search here. This doesn't really matter. Cast this. Get Island, and then play the Steve, and then pass. And so if we draw a land next turn, we win the game. And if we don't draw a land, we have 2 remands for anything they're going to do. So, looks good. Yeah, so 1 ramp spell and remand. It's just like, this isn't there. That's true. We do care about Acid Moss. It would have to be like exactly Acid Moss, and we haven't seen it before. Because like usually their big turn is like 6 mana. So if they double ramp here, like it's fine because then we have double remand. So it would have to be like the 1 of or 2 of Acid Moss, which would be very annoying, and we might lose the game if they have it. But I guess this maximizes. The question is, do we have to take a risk this game, or are we so far ahead that it didn't matter? And it's possible that we just have enough interaction that we should have just played around us losing to the Acid Moss. So we can sack here, get the Island, in case we draw Cryptic. Yeah, so this game is going to be fairly standard. We drew the land, so there we go. We can fetch here. Just hold up remand, because there's no reason not to. I guess let's tap this correctly. Make the 4 colors. There we go. Cast the Bring to Light. And so there's no Veil of Summer. Alright, we're not going to... We screwed this up last time. We're not going to screw it up this time. Yeah, that's a good point. If we had a Valakut, it would definitely be more important to hold up Remand, because if we get crumbled, we would die. So I agree with that. So let's just kill our opponent here. No Veil of Summer is going to save them. And 18 to you. And we get there. All right, so game 3. Do we want to change anything is the question. Let's see. They're going to have Veil of Summers, but there's nothing we can really do about that. Again, it's interesting whether or not we want life gain to stay above 18, but I don't think it's enough. It's not worth it to board in bad cards just so we don't die a turn earlier when we have enough interaction to probably prevent it. So this card could be too slow, but it does find like our heavy hitters, so I'm inclined not to cut this. And every other card is fine here. So, and I think they're better than these, so let's run it. Having Bolt in case they board in like some sort of threat, like a tracker, could be good. So I might be inclined to board back in like a Bolt. But again, I wouldn't. We still have to Fairy to bounce whatever they play, and we have blockers, so it's possible that it's just worse. So let's just go with it. All right, so game 3, we're going to be on the draw here. We have a Crumble. We also have an Astrolabe. They mulligan to 6. So we can't actually cast this hard casting it or hard cast this because we don't have a blue or a white source here. But having the Crumble and being able to use this Astrolabe means I'm going to probably keep this. And we can also pitch the Teferi to play the Force. So given all of that, I think this is a keep. Whereas let's say we didn't have, let's say this Astrolabe was not an Astrolabe, let's say it was anything else. I think this might be a mulligan in the regular version because, maybe not, because we have the Crumble. That would be more a tighter decision. So they have Suspend Search. So if we're able to get this Teferi out, but it's likely not happening, that's good. All right, although we possibly have to take 2. We're going to have to shock next turn, which would not be ideal. Let's see if they... Looks like they have a good draw here. They have the turn 2 Steve and the turn 3 Search. So this game could be slightly difficult. Okay, so that was really good. We drew this, so now we can just play our turn 2 Steve. I don't think we're going to counter this Search. It's just too low impact, and if they have something like Acid Moss here, we don't want to just die, or a Crumble. So I think it's safe to just keep this up. Also, they're not going to play Primeval Titan this turn. So there's a tracker. So it's a good thing we have this Teferi. So we're going to let the tracker happen. They have the fetch land too. So they're going to get a bunch of clues here. But I think we're going to be fine. They're already at 15, so we can just sack this Steve pretty freely. So they're just going to do their thing now. It's fine. We're going to get Island. Okay, so now it's fairly good to just bounce this tracker. Keeps us above 20. Play our tap land. We can still force something if we have to. It would suck if they play Primeval Titan now, which is maybe a reason to play Crumble there. But given they have Tracker, they probably want to replay it. They might not have a land here. They have Explorer. We'll let that one happen. They have Valakut. Okay, so now we're going to get to Crumble the Valakut, which will likely... Ooh, they have Field also. Okay, so we're going to... Let's see. Take this up. The question is now, what do we want to do? We can draw step, Crumble their Valakut. And because they only have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different names if we kill this. So, yeah. I think we just Crumble Valakut on the draw step and we get our land in the play tapped. So let's go for that. Stop on my opponent's turn. Yeah. Okay. Upkeep, draw. We are going to crumble the Valakut. We're less worried about field because it's a slower kill. They're going to crack the clue. They have a bunch of lands. Okay, so let's check their deck out for a second. They have a Beast Within. They have 1 Acid Moss. They have 2 Baloth, which is fine. They have an Omen. They have 3 Veil of Summers, so that's definitely noteworthy. I guess they want to use the mana, but what they should have done is just add 1 red, let it happen, and then crack the clue after. Let's just screenshot this. So we'll let this happen. So now the question is whether or not we want to force. They're just going to crack the clue. This is fine. Again, this game is also going to come down to whether or not we can draw Bring to Light or Scapeshift. Okay, do we want to counter this? I think the answer is no, because they don't even have 6, or they're going to play the Sheltered Thicket. So they're going to get 1, 2, well, this can get 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and Sheltered Thicket 7. So they're going to get 1 zombie. But I think we could just let this happen, because it's not killing us. So let's let it happen. They didn't have to play their mountain, right? No, they didn't play their mountain. So they're going to get the forest. Then they're going to get the thing here. So we have Ice Fangs that can block this. So I'm not really worried about them beating down. And without Valakut, like, we're not in any fear of dying. So I think we're going to be good this game, as long as we can find a kill con. And there it is. So all we have to do now is just play this Steve and pass. And we still have force and double quaddle. So yeah, let's just play this. And we're not really worried about anything. And this will guarantee we have 7 lands. They drew Baloth. That's going to put them to 19. But we have Ice Fang to put them to 18. So this is fine. This doesn't do anything. I don't think they have any other cards in their hand. So we let this happen. They might attack Teferi. They attack both at Teferi, so we'll keep our Teferi alive here. Get an island. Teferi can take it. We could just play some quaddles. Let them tap out. Could have played a quaddle to block, keep Teferi on 3. But they're just going to die here. So, yeah. Looks like we got it. Let's play this. And we can even play another one. Attack them for 1. Oh, we have drawn... we have drawn 5 mountains, so now I have to figure out... Okay, we've drawn 5 mountains. We can go to 8, and we can get... There's only 5 mountains left in our deck. So we can get 5 triggers times 2. So that's 30 damage. Yeah. We'll play the non-mountain here. And then we should be fine. Gonna get the Bring to Light. Scapeshift. Alright, so now... Yeah, exactly. So we're gonna find... 2 Valakuts, 5 mountains, we'll sack, leave, whatever, 1 mountain in play, sack those 7, and kill the opponent. Nice, so we're 2-0. Deck is definitely working here. It's working better than The 64 card special. So let's take a look at the list again. I hope I'm not tempting you too much here. Yeah, league looking good so far. I agree. Okay, so we're on the draw. We have a bold into a quaddle. So, gonna keep this. Would suck if they're on like Tron, but if they're on like a slower deck, we have like 2 kind of redraws. If they're on something where bolt's relevant, then that's good. So, sounds definitely reasonable. So this could be like Storm or something, which having this bolt would be good. Remand is probably a good draw. So I want to get the bolt online next turn, so we're going to play the Stomping Ground. I'm not going to play it on tap, though, because I've got no reason to. Usually Storm might not play fetches, so it might not be Storm. Thought Scour, milling 2 Ancestral Visions. Okay. I hope this isn't like some Electrodominance deck that is going to... This is weird. Okay, there's weird stuff going on. They put a card on top. I don't know what's going on here. Greater Gargadon. Huh. Okay. Send help, please. Gargadon. Okay, so this remand's going to be very good, so we're just going to play our land. We have Quaddle up 2 in case. So Gargadon is definitely a good remand target. It might be some sort of Foretold, maybe Living End deck. Like a blue-red Foretold Living End would be my guess. So this could be an Foretold, which we would want to suspend second Gargadon into nothing. Okay. So we'll draw. We draw Astrolabe. Okay, so now we have to make decisions whether or not we want to tap below remand for a turn. We are going to die. That's fair. We don't know what's going on, so it's pretty safe to just hold this remand up. So let's play this Astrolabe. Yeah, I think holding up remand is also pretty safe here, so might as well. We draw Search, so there's no reason to do anything else. So we're just going to play Misty and pass. Again, we're still not really sure what's going on. I assume they have cool stuff in their deck. They're doing nothing. Wow. Okay. So let's... Should I be scared? Is Electrodominance an instant? It is. Red, red, X, instant, X damage. Okay. So, I guess I don't even need to fetch this. So let's just untab. We draw Teferi. So Teferi is like busted against those. Okay. So now we can go like Search plus hold up remand. Yeah, I like that. So let's crack for probably just green. We can go Search. No, let's get blue here. And then we just cast this Search. And you get green. Rather go Steve. Yeah, Steve's reasonable too. They're still doing nothing. Wow. Okay. Draw Ojutai's Command. So now we're going to get to play the Teferi, I think. Yeah, I know. They could have done something, but what are we really worried about? So now we could play Teferi. We could also just play Steve and pass. If I play Teferi, it forces their hand, and we still have remand up. So I kind of like that. Not gonna... I guess it doesn't matter. We'll tap this. Let's play this. So if any counter spells, they're gonna play it now. But they would have maybe played it earlier? I'm not sure. Exile Spirit Guide. What is going on? What is this? 5 mana? Electrodominance for 0? Electrodominance me for 0. So I assume I just remand this. Or it lets them cast the card. So we can let this happen and then we'll counter the card that they're going to play off of it. So let this happen. They're probably going to put a Restore Balance. So let's remand this one. Hopefully they don't have a counterspell back. They don't. So now they have a Restore Balance in hand. Why would they exiled Spirit Guide so they have one less card? So we get to... So we know they have a Restore Balance. Okay. They could have another Electrodominance, but... I'm not sure if they're even able to cast this. Not sure. Let's just tick up because we don't really need to remove anything from our hand. And in case they play the Restore Balance, I'm going to shock and bolt. So let's do that. So they can't even bring back the Gargadon. I mean, they're also dead next turn. This is probably as Foretold. Cast. Yeah, I think it shuts it off too. Cast Spirit Guide. You got it, buddy. Let's just bolt this Spirit Guide. Okay, we got 7 lands, so that should be a win here. Even with the Teferi. So let's just do it, I guess. We'll get the planes. 2, 3, 4, 5. Cast this. Get the Scapeshift. We'll cast this one. Wait, I have 7 lands. Yeah, 3, 7. We're good. We're good here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. All right, Dome you for 18. All right, we win game 1. Okay, so boarding against Electrodominance, we definitely want our counter spells. Oops. We also want our Veil of Summer. As far as the rest of these cards go, we're not kind of sure what's going on, but I don't know if they actually have As Foretold in their deck. So forces might not be something we want. We definitely probably want to cut the removal. So this could be a very clean 4-for-4 split. I don't think any of these cards do much. I'm inclined to keep this in because it can take them off lands, but even then, they're going to... we could actually board in Baloth and discard it. I think that's how... Let's see what Restore Balance does. Yeah, so they discard cards. So if they get us with a Restore Balance, I can put a Baloth in play, which could be cool. We can cut this Acid Moss. I'm down to go for that. The rest of these cards seem pretty meh, so let's go with this. I'm down to try to cheese the cheese deck. Okay, so this is going to be our first mulligan because we only have one land in Astrolabe. So we're going to ship it, even though Teferi is very good. Okay, we're going to keep this hand. We don't have any counter spells, but I mean, any like low drop counter spells. And then we're going to probably ship Prairie Stream. This can get Forest. We're going to do that. Then this gets Island. So, yeah, let's ship the Prairie Stream. We could also get Breeding Pool. Draw Veto right away. Okay, so now I'm inclined to get like Temple Garden. And suspend this. Unfortunately, on turn 2, if they have Electrodominance plus whatever Vision, like there's not much we could really do unless we have Force. Okay, they're doing something here. Okay, it looks like they are going to play Electrodominance, and they're going to draw 3. So they basically just like drew a card. So that's not like the best thing in the world. So now we could hold up Veto or play Steve. I'm kind of inclined to hold up Veto here, because next turn we're going to have 4 mana. But then we'd have to hold up Cryptic. Whereas if we play the Steve this turn, what could they really do next turn? They have to like restore balance. They have to like... interesting spot. Could be correct to just play this safe. So let's try playing this safe here. We'll just play this and pass. No reason to tap out when we have a counterspell this turn. We cannot play Cryptic next turn, though. So I've never registered in a constructed tournament more than 60 cards. But there is reason for doing it in this list. And it's actually been playing out fine. So I might be a believer here in the 64 card special. Well, it's not really because we can. It's because playing Astrolabe in a 60 card deck with this, we'd have to cut 4 important spells for Astrolabe, which is what I did. But then, like, the deck just doesn't really work as it's intended because you've lost a bunch of the important cards. So by playing 64, you basically get to like up a land, play 4 Astrolabe, and then only cut like 1 relevant card. So I think in the previous version, I cut like a removal spell or something, and now we get to play everything we want. Finale of Promise. So that is not a card. That is not something I want to have happen. So we're going to have something to say about it. We already have a basic, so if we draw Astrolabe, we're fine. The question is, do we need anything but Island here? Like we could get Breeding Pool. I think I'll get Breeding Pool here, and then veto this. Don't need them drawing another 3. Or we just let them draw as many cards as they want and try to counter the payoff. But given we're like 1 blue source away from playing another counterspell, I think we're fine. Like this turn we could just tap out for the Steve. So maybe I should have let this happen, let them draw on 3, and then this turn I can go Steve plus hold up veto. So we're going to get Island here. We draw a second Steve. So now we just put a bunch of Steves in play. And hope they don't have, like, restore balance here. Because then we would be sad. I just, like, didn't want them to Ancestral Recall again. Maybe that's wrong of me, but if they had Gargadon, they would suspend it. So we're not really worried about like losing all our lands here. Them playing a 4th land is good for us because now this could be the living. Okay, this is the As Foretold, so could be in trouble now. But we have lower cards in hand, so they definitely gain an edge by people not knowing exactly what's in their list. But, I mean, we also kind of get an edge, too. Like, I'm sure they don't think we have Cryptic Command in our deck. So, they can play a 0. Could be another Vision. I would assume they cut the living ends. Crashing Footfalls. What is going on now? They're going to copy it or something? So they played Footfalls and now they're doing this, so fine. Ooh, I see. They're going to restore balance to make us lose our guys. So we can set up our mana here. So we're going to get 3 blue sources and then sack like the plains, I think. Lands. We're going to have to discard a card too. I think we just keep the Cryptic. Get Island. Yeah. So we let this happen. Sack this plains. Oh. Choose 4 lands. These 4. Question is, what do we want to discard? I think it's the Bring to Light. And we could just Cryptic to... Oh no, I wanted to... Okay. I wanted to keep that. Well, that kind of sucks. I wanted to bounce one of these and draw a card, but now I can't. So, yeah. Should have checked which one it said. I guess they were all like, keep the card. I'm gonna get Mountain here. Pass. We're not dead. We can make a similar play next turn. We're gonna be taking 8. That's not bad. So let's do that. This is basically the same thing, and this way we get to save the Bring to Light because it might be able to kill the opponent. We're definitely going to bounce this. Okay, we find a land, so if we draw a land next turn, we're going to win, which wouldn't have happened if I kept the Cryptic. So let's see what happens here. Yeah, that's fair. I just thought their hand was bad, but I guess how important veto is. Yeah, note to self. Blood Moon. So I unfortunately only have 3 colors here. And we just lost the Teferi. I should have boarded in the Force of Vigor. Okay. We did not draw Astrolabe yet either. Let's get Forest. It's not the end of the world. I don't have a Plains in my deck because I discarded it. That's the 7th land. So what's a 3-drop I can get here? I guess we'll find out. Blood Moon's pretty annoying. Could just be Coatl to block. I kind of like that. Unfortunately, Brick. Okay. It's kind of a top deck war, but they have better cards to draw. Should have boarded in the Force of Vigor, but it's tough playing into this deck. Echoing Truth. Okay. So we're going to go to 1 here. That's a card. Is there any reason to Ice Fang now? I would have to draw like Astrolabe. I'm going to die to any bounce spell anyways, so let's try to draw it, I guess. That is a Baloth. Okay. Let's play our land. So they have to not have a way to remove this Ice Fang. Land is good for us. It doesn't look like they have it. We're definitely going to block. Oh, no, they have Trample. What am I talking about? Okay, we're dead. Didn't matter. That thing has Trample for some reason. Okay. Going to game 3. Definitely want this Force of Vigor in my deck. They have Footfall, so there might be a consideration to have maybe a Verdict as like a... Bring in the Blood Moon threats. Maybe. We just have to think what kind of game we're trying to play, right? It's possible. Like, this card's not amazing. Possibly we just want all the threats now. And, like, not to die to their... Because this card doesn't really do anything. Alright, let's board in some 4-drops, I guess. It's a lot of 4-drops. I want to have some answer to Footfalls. I guess we have Teferi. We have Remand. We have Counterspells. I guess this kills Gargadon too, so yeah, it's good to have like a reset button. I have to cut a card here. How much, like... They didn't show us any Counterspells, I don't think. Like, just Echoing Truth. So maybe I just board out Veil. I assume they have some amount of Counterspells, but we haven't seen anything in 2 games. Also, I'd rather not have, like, conditional Counterspell. So yeah, I think I just board that out. Alright, we're on the play. What does this hand do? It has 2 Valakuts, so this is mulligan. Alright, we have an Astrolabe hand. So, yeah, so here's one of the hands where, let's say we don't have this Astrolabe. We can't keep this hand because it doesn't have a green source. But now we do. And the hand is good. As far as what to bottom. Yeah, I agree. It's a good point, Sungjin. Just don't counter any of the draws. Should we bottom the Pia or the Huntmaster? Probably the Huntmaster. Or probably the Pia. We'll keep the Huntmaster. Alright. And then we'll lead on Astrolabe. Steve's a good draw. Again, this card like absolutely destroys their deck, so we just have to get that in play, and it should be good enough. Are they doing things? Exile Gargadon. Okay. We are going to get to play a Steve here. Astrolabe doing some good basic hard-working Astrolabe here. Went to college, got his degree, and then doing God's work. Just doing some, you know, professional level job here, fixing our mana. You know, it works 9 to 5. Unfortunately, gets minimum wage, but he's able to feed his family and, you know, he does what he's got to do. Suspend vision. So they're not going to be happy with this Teferi. I'll tell you that right now. I mean, this game he's getting more than minimum wage, but... Okay, so we're going to get probably just Forest. Also, it's really good our mana base is all basics here so that we can play around the Blood Moon. Try another Steve. Question is there any reason to not play Teferi here? We have not seen any counterspells. It's really good against their threats. I think we just jam this. Can also bounce this right now. Hopefully find the land. This card seems good against a suspend, cast things at random time deck. I like me a clean Teferi. And it's good. So they could like Electrodominance it for 1 next turn. I guess there's no reason. There's a reason to bounce this turn to try to find the land, but we're so far ahead now that I think we just tick up and pass. They could have Echoing Truth, but if they Echoing Truth, they're not really doing anything. So I think we just tick up and not let it die to random nonsense. And then if it lives, we're just going to win the game. Because like they're basically down 2 cards if this lives. And their game plan's in shambles. Seer Vision, sure. Two cards on the bottom. It's good to see. Exile Monkey Peer Through Depths. Okay. They find the Electrodominance. Then they pass. We don't draw the land. They could technically Electrodominance this for 2 next turn. I do really want to draw a land here, though. They have another monkey. I guess they'd have to draw a land and have a second monkey. And even then... I guess our game plan is just let this live. They're trying to find like an Echoing Truth, which they might have. I think I'm going to bounce this. I could float Filter Mana first. But there's no real reason to, since we'll just replay it. So let's try to draw lands here. We find Force of Negation. That's also excellent. So now we can just play Astrolabe again. Yeah, play this again. Hopefully draw a land, and then we can play Steve. Could have filtered for green, and then suspended and played this. We find the land anyways, so this is going to get to work out. I like how there's 3 different suspended cards in a game of Modern right now by both players. That's pretty funny. This also shuts off Finale, shuts off Electrodominance, shuts off any of the suspend cards. So, and now that we have this force, I think we're going to be pretty good. I think they're in trouble. They are passing. Okay. Question is, do we need to... we do want to get them to 18, but we might not even be winning that way. We don't really need the mana next turn, so I think I'm just going to untap. They would have to take 1 if they wanted to play anything, but... we don't really have to sack this right now. Like, we're doing pretty fine. This means they can't win any counter war. So pick this up, just attack for 1, play this tapped and go. Get our beatdown on. So they just did absolutely nothing. We really need this Teferi to live this next turn so that they can't, you know, get this Ancestral off. So they play this. So this we do not want to have happen. So we just hard cast force this. And so now we're going to be able to get the Ancestral. We can likely sack this for like a white. Play around Blood Moon. This can get like blue. Get blue here. Verdict. So we could just tick this up and pass. No reason to do anything else. We have like an Energize command, which can maybe counter something. This Ancestral is now dead. And then we can also Drawn from Dreams this turn. So we know they have this still, but this is on 4 now, so it's out of range. This looks like that's what it's going to be. They're finaling for 2. So this actually does not work. This only lets you cast spells anytime you could play a sorcery, and for some reason the way this is worded is you can play them without paying their mana cost, but this does not work. So we just let this happen, and they can't cast this. Because it's not considered a sorcery when they cast it. So this was like a standard trick when I played Scapeshift in Standard, which actually won me an MCQ to go to the Mythic Championship to play this deck. You play Teferi, and then there'd be like blue-red Phoenix decks that would just try to, you know, finale for value. And if you have Teferi in play, they actually can't finale. So it's kind of cool that's coming back up. But this is not going to work out for our opponent here. And they're starting to realize that they cannot play the spells. So yeah. Little side note. I think they're just sad right now. Because their deck is basically invalidated by Teferi. So yep, so now they could not cast the cards, which is what we thought would happen. We get to play this Drawn from Dreams, end of turn. We did not find a Scapeshift though. So now we can just take like... we have 7 lands. Let's take like Veto. We already have a creature. Let's take like Veto Remand. And we're just going to chill. There it is. So yeah, that should be it. We have 7 lands. We have Teferi. So yeah, let's just do it. Does not matter what we do. Right, we still have everything in our deck. Yep. All right, play this for 4. Get the Scapeshift, cast this card. You see how this planes moves up? It's kind of weird. It's pretty funny though. And yeah, get Valakut. And 6 of these. And 18, yeah. Boom. That is a win. We are 3-0 now. The 64 card special is working. All right, I'm just going to hit the bathroom real quick, and then we're going to get into round 4. All right, we're back. So we're guaranteed to cast the league, and let's see if we can go for a trophy. See what's going on. Waiting for a match here. Honestly, everything's been working out pretty good so far. It is possible that we should be playing 60 and somehow like less than these. But for now, let's just keep working with this. Sideboard's also very similar. We have our opponent. Let's do it. Are we going to play? Let's see. Moto, come on. That's not very nice. I guess while we're waiting here, just want to plug, if you're enjoying the content, make sure to leave a follow here, and check me out on Twitter and YouTube for all of Bring to Light action. And let's see if we can get into it here. I never understand like when it pairs you, and then if you, it'll like repair, but then that might pair again, and then you don't actually get to play. It's kind of weird. Okay, so we're on the play. We have a turn 1 Astrolabe hand, but we don't have a second land. So this is interesting, because this hand is very good otherwise. This may still have to be a mulligan, though, because if we brick on the Astrolabe and then brick on our draw step, we have to suspend this, and then we just die. So I think we still mulligan this, but it's close. We're also in the dark. All right, this hand's a lot better. We're going to keep... You would sneak that hand? All right. Trust the Astrolabe. Okay, so we need the white source here, so we're going to push the... It's demonic tutor. I like the way you think. All right, let's push the forest there. I didn't trust it. I didn't trust it. This hand's also very good, though. Playing against a Wooded Foothills deck. So let's just hold up Remand or... Ah, yes, the TM. The mighty important TM. Is this another Valaka deck? Might be. Ooh, a Blood Crypt. Okay, so it could be Jund. Which they didn't keep a turn 1 discard spell. It's kind of weird. So I assume they have something on turn 2 here. Might be like a Renin 6. And there it is. So we are going to remand this Renin 6. Just the Mind Reader. Okay, Verdict is not the best against Jund, but it's actually fine. So this is going to be a good turn to Resolver to Fairy, so let's do that. We want to get a white source here for sure, so we can play our thing. So let's get Temple Garden, because we cut the Hallowed Fountain. And we're just going to tick this up, because if we tick down, the Renin 6 can kill it, and we don't need the card this turn, but we could probably use the card next turn. So our first hand would have probably been really good against Jund if we hit. We are playing 27 lands, but... Ooh, they just decided to play Liliana. Okay. So... Question now is... Do we want this Verdict? The answer might be no, because we can't even play it. So I think we ditch the Verdict. They ditch Ooze. We draw Bring to Light. So now I want to just draw as many cards as possible. So we're going to go... Yeah, play Coatl, bounce it, and then replay it. Draw this. We could play Steve here. So they're going to play... They're going to probably tick up. We're going to discard this Valakut. If it gets Surgical, we will lose, though. Playing this Steve is pretty good, though. Yeah, give me 1 sec. Let's make a decision here. I think it's probably just play Steve. Yeah, okay, so I said at the beginning of the video, or of the stream, which will get uploaded, but basically the quick gist of it is that tried Astrolabe with 60 cards, and you just have to cut 4 really good cards from the deck. It also made sideboarding a lot harder because you have 4 less cards you can cut now. And so by playing 64, you keep the ratios the same. You only have to cut one card from the deck, and then you add 1 land and 4 Astrolabe. And so this allows you to keep more hands, and it's actually been pretty good so far. And if you want the longer explanation, when it goes up on YouTube, you could check out the beginning, or rewatch the beginning of the stream. So they're going to Renin 6 the land, which is fine. Again, we're pretty close to killing them. We should probably... Probably discard the Valakut, although it is kind of risky if they... But no one's playing main deck Surgical anymore, so... I think I just get rid of this Valakut. They discard Tarmogoyf, Dark Confidant. Okay, there's a Tarmogoyf. So now we can... Do we even want to crack this? That's an interesting question. I think we still do. We get to see what's in the deck too. We could bring to light 4. Ideally we want to kill them, but we could get like Drawn from Dreams. So let's get... we don't... We already have 3 green. We have 3 blue technically. I guess you can get the second white here. It could be Island though. Let's get Island. It's pretty safe to just get Island. We draw a land. So now we just have to fade 1 turn to kill the opponent. So we're going to do this. We're just going to pass. It's possible we just want to discard this Coatl because we guarantee have the 7th land. But if they Thoughtseize, then I probably want to bring to light. Let's see what happens. Again, it would have to be exactly Thoughtseize because Inquisition can't take it. And they haven't played it yet, so they would have had to have drawn it this turn. And they probably lead on Thoughtseize too. So we actually don't have 3 snow other snow permanents. So this doesn't have Death Touch yet. So they drew Inquisition. So now we actually want to play this because if they tick up... So if we let them take this, then tick up, we have to discard this and we have to draw a land. Whereas this way, we now have a possible redraw with Teferi. And if we draw a land or anything that costs more than 3, they can't take it. And they can't take that. So that's really good now. It would only suck if they drew Thoughtseize also, but it doesn't make sense for their sequencing to have Inquisition and Thoughtseize on this turn. I think they drew Inquisition for this turn. And now if they like K-Command us or like tick up, they'd have to have like K-Command here to make us discard the land, and then we'd have like 3 redraws at it, I think. They're going to make us sack. That's fine. So now we basically win the game here. We have 6 mountains, so we do need to not draw a mountain this turn. Oh, even 5 triggers would win. Okay, this has to not... They hit Ren in 6, so they're not going to cast that. Okay, so we win the game now. Yep. Okay, so we can technically do this on 8, even though it doesn't really matter. So I can just... if I do this, we get blue, white, green, red, blue. Yeah, this is fine. We'll cast this. I guess I can get this. Yeah, we'll get plains. White, green, red, blue. And then we'll play this. Green, white, red, blue. And this. Get Scapeshift. Cast. So now we have 6 mountains in our deck, so we can just leave, I guess, 1 mountain in play. We can just get Valakut and 6 mountains, so leave a Steam Vents in play. So I guess that's fine. I can just do it like this. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It's 18. All right. We win game 1. All right. Against Jund. How do we want to do this? We're on the draw, so Remand's a lot worse. Acid Moss is also a lot worse on the draw, so we could probably cut those. Question is, if we want any counter spells, we definitely want Veil of Summer. We likely want the threats here, so we're going to board in the Baloth, the Huntmasters, and the Pia. How many bolts do we want to keep in is a good question. Could probably trim down 1. I like keeping Verdict as a reset button. All the 2-for-1s are really good. It might just be cut another bolt here. I don't think I want any counter spells on the draw. On the play, I might. The rest of these cards are bad. We still have 2, 3 Teferi. And Bolt's not amazing, so I think we cut another Bolt here. We just keep 1 Bolt in our deck, and we have basically all 2-for-1s. So let's run with this. I've still yet to put this in play off of Liliana or K Command, so hopefully that gets to happen at some point. Alright, so we have our first no-lander. Gonna have to ship it. If this had 1 land, though, would be close. I think given we had too many high cards, it would probably still be a mulligan, but... Alright, so this hand's fairly decent. We will definitely keep. Question is, what do you put back? It might be a search here, because having actual lands is good. So I think I'm gonna bottom a search. Because they're kind of the same, and we already have 1. If they take the 1, I'd rather just have lands. It ends up being the same thing. I assume we're not getting hit with a discard spell, which is good. Which means they probably have a good 2-drop. And we also have 3 blue for the Cryptic, so yeah. Sounds decent. Let's lead on the search. So it could be Renantix coming, it could be like Bob. I guess because they showed us Bob, it might be worth it to keep in more bolts, but... It's tough because if they don't have the creature and you draw the bolt, it's pretty bad. And now we're going to hit by the Bob, so... Yeah. This might cost us a bit, but... Land's fairly good. We already have 7 lands set up, so it's basically just can we top deck our Killcon. They hit a K command off the Bob so far. K command won't do too much here, which is good. We have excess lands to discard. There's Renin 6. They don't have a fetch on yet, though, so this is good for us. It's turn 3, so they can't play it. They're going to ping the Steve, so we're going to sack. We already have the blue source here, so let's get white. Because we will need white at some point. So now we're going to have Cryptic up next turn. We'll take 2 here. What land do we want to get here? Probably green. Given we have the 3rd blue already, but I could play this tapped. In case I draw a bolt, I think I get blue, but then... Let's see what's in our deck, actually. We have more Cryptics. If I draw Teferi, I can still play it. Veil of Summer. It's either green or blue, I think. I think it's probably blue and play this tapped. Yeah. Because this way we're going to get our red source in play. So if we draw like Pia, we'll have a red source. And if we draw Huntmaster or something, we draw the Teferi. So we're definitely going to play that, I think. So we want to deny them the card draw here. So let's go for this. The Ren can ping it down, but that's not really what we care about right now. Verdict. Okay. So we're going to play this tapped, and we're going to pass. This also means that we're going to make the Ren like go down for a turn. Or they could go up, but then we have a Teferi that's going to live. Again, this game is going to probably come down to whether or not we can draw a Bring to Light or Scapeshift, but we have plenty of redraws. Like Astrolabe now is also a redraw, and it would also like help us play these spells. They have Tireless Tracker, and they have a land. Hope it's Inquisition here, if they're playing something. It is, yes. This is what you love to see. 2 lands and 2 4-drops against Inquisition. Awesome. So we draw the white source, so we could just Verdict this. We could also just like let them commit more to the board and then Verdict next turn, which I think I kind of like. Okay, so they Inquisitioned us and they didn't see that we had this Temple Garden, so I'm actually not going to play it tapped here. We're going to play something else to bait them into playing more creatures, like the Bob in their hand, and then we can get them with the Verdict. So they will get more clues, but we don't really care about that. So let's go for the Island Go here. And then starting from this point onwards, we just have to draw a Bring to Light or Scapeshift, and we'll win the game at any point. So I think we're in good shape now. And if they play anything rude like a Fulminator or, you know, something like that, we have this Cryptic. So they do have the fetch line now, which is kind of annoying, but I mean, they can draw cards here. Get back the Baron more. Yeah. They'll get a land here. They have clues, but it doesn't really matter. This is like Bloodbraid, so hopefully this hits a creature. They hit a Thoughtseize, so that's unfortunate. So we're gonna have to counter the Thoughtseize, and we're gonna draw a card. We didn't draw the... We didn't draw anything there. So we'll take 6. Can we draw the card that kills the opponent? We cannot. Okay, so now we're going to have to Verdict, and hopefully draw it next turn. Again, it's going to happen that you go a quarter of your deck and you're not going to find any of the 6 of. Hopefully we have another 2 draws. They have Inquisition, which is not a card here, so that's fine. We know they have Bob also. Bob and K-Command, actually. So we know a lot of their hand. They have Goyf, so that's going to kill us next turn with this Bob. Yeah, so we have a draw step here to find something. Hopefully to win the match. And we cannot. So we lose. Yeah, because they're just going to ping us with that. Yeah, we die. That was not going to get there. Alright, that happens. So game 3 now against Jund. The Reman's got a lot better on the play, as well as the Acid Moss does. They showed us Bob, so we might want bolts. As far as what to cut, it's... The question is, oops, do we actually want any of these? Or do we want the guys? I mean, I do like the guys. I do really want the remands, though, I think. It's possible I just don't want any bolts, but they have Bob and Tireless Trackers, so Bolt gets a lot better. Depends if we even want these threats. I think we do, but they showed us K-Command. I might be interested in like trying like a transformational here and just like try to play all control. As far as Acid Moss, probably not, and just play like 2 bolts. Sure. That's fine. I think I want to try something like this and not board in. I mean, it is really good to have these against Lily, but... And Ren and 6? I don't know. That's it. It's tough. I am on the play too, so these get better. Could be O command. Maybe just cut this card. I don't know. Let's try cutting the creatures. I'm down to see how this goes. I run the play. We have a double Astrolabe. Double Astrolabe hand that does nothing else. Is this good enough? Alright. Sungjin said it was Demonic Tutor, so I'm inclined to believe him. So let's go with Demonic Tutor. Okay. They don't want to F6 their turn. Okay. That is not the best draw. We got 3 pair. No, we have 5 pair, actually. 1 pair, 2 pair, 3 pair, 4 pair, 5 pair. Well, let's just suspend this, I guess. This game is also going to come down to whether or not we can just draw Bring to Light or Scapeshift. We're going to have enough lands. Just comes down to whether or not you could draw the card. So these bolts could have been creatures here. I assume they take this. Yep. Okay, we'll play that. Do I want to hold up Bolt? Probably. Actually, I probably want to hold up Bolt. Yeah. Yeah, it's fine. I'll hold up Bolt here. I know we have it. Well, basically, I cut the 3rd Scapeshift for Drawn from Dreams, so it's kind of the same thing. If we draw the Drawn from Dreams, it's going to probably find us a Bring to Light or Scapeshift, so that's my reasoning behind not playing 3 Scapeshifts. So we're going to have 6 mana next turn if we want it. Probably attack them with this. Just have to draw action. Maybe on the play, I want these to be creatures, and on the draw, I want them to be bolts. I could see that being reasonable. They're playing a 2/3 Goyf. We will not be bolting this Goyf, because it's going to grow. So this bolt can go upstairs. I don't need to sack this yet, so let's just not sack it. I'd rather get a block out of it. I'm going to get an island here. Action. That's kind of action. There's nothing I would want to play off of it, so let's just play this tapped, and we'll pass. We're not going to attack. So we're going to get the Coatl down here. Draw another search. Yeah, let's just block. Okay, Goyf down. Just have to draw Bring to Light or Scapeshift. We have the bolt to put him to 16. We also have Cryptics. We have other counter spells. A lot of redraws. Brutality. Look at my hand. You got it. Might take this. Take a bolt. Okay. So I kind of want to attack them. If we draw exactly Bring to Light, we cannot win on this turn, though. But I think I'd win if I draw Bring to Light anyways. So let's pretend we don't. Alright, let's... I guess we'll cast this. Get planes. And yeah, we just gotta draw it. It's gotta be somewhere. It's gotta be somewhere. That's fine. That's not a card. Okay, so this Verdict is gonna do good work here. Again, we just gotta draw... Let's see, we have 2, 6, 9, 10, 13... 14, 15, 17, 19, 22, like 23. Like half our deck is like decent draws. So okay, that's a redraw. So let's play that. Okay, Reman's fine here. We're now going to Verdict them so they don't get to draw 2 cards here. And then we just kind of play this interesting control game until we draw our way to win. They draw Thoughtseize. I guess we remand this because it could draw us... They're just going to take it. I still think we play this. It'll make them use another mana. Could also draw... Draws a land, so now they're going to Thoughtseize and take the Bolt. Do they have a Goyf? They have Ooze. There's a lot of creatures, right? 1, 2, there's a lot of creatures. They only have 1 green source, though. That's a redraw. 4 Astrolabe. Demonic Tutor. No. Alright. Let's play... this because it'll thin our deck. Again, we have some time. We've gone through 22 cards. They have 2 green sources. So they're gonna eat. They're gonna go above 18, but that's fine. Yep. We're going to go to 14. What is this? Fulminator Mage. That's fine. Let's get, like, Breeding Pool. Come on, deck. Give me something, deck. Our deck just doesn't love us today. Our deck just doesn't love us today. Oh, well. This is what happens sometimes. We'll have one more chance, one more draw. Gone through 24 cards. Yep, they drew another green source. Could also draw it to Fairy, would keep us alive. All the other redraws. Cryptic could tap and bounce, or just tap the team and redraw. Gonna go to 4. Come on, deck. Deliver for the stream here. This is like Lily. 2 Fulminators. That's actually pretty good. That means we might not be able to win even if we draw it. Come on, one time. So if they kill 2 mountains, then we still have enough. Okay, do we win now? Let's see. So we have 2 Valakuts. So we just put this in play. We only have 6 mountains, so we have to keep some amount. So I think we still win here. We just put this in play. We're going to have 6 mountains, so we're going to sack 2 lands, get 2 Valakuts, and 3, 4, 5, 6. And then get 6 mountains, and then, yeah. So we should have enough here. So our deck delivered. So I think we're good here. We can just play this tapped. And then this is always the fun part. Play this for 4. Okay, so now we want to keep, we have 6 mountains, I believe, left in their deck. So we want to keep, we have to keep at least 7 in play so that this can't get us below 5. So we want 7 mountains in play. The 5 we're going to get, we want to keep 2 in play. So keep 2 mountains in play. And then sack these. I think is how the math works. So we're going to get, make sure you have 8. Oh, that's true. If you have at least 5 of the mountains, make sure I have 8. Okay. So, 2 Valakuts, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 mountains, right? 1, 2, and then we have, so 2 Valakuts, and we have 2 Valakuts, 3, 4, 5, 6. So then we're going to get 2, we're going to get 6 mountains. I think this is good. 6 mountains, yeah. So I think we win here. Kapow. And they scoop. So we drew the Valakut, or we drew the Scapeshift on the last turn we could. So there you go. The deck bailed us out. Still unsure if how we boarded was correct. Maybe we just want to keep in the creatures. I could definitely see that being more than reasonable over the bolts, since that game we drew 2 bolts and it didn't do anything. But we're now going for the trophy. So let's see. First league with 64 card Astrolabe. Are we going to get the trophy? Is this the real deal? Did Sungjin break it again? Find out. Let's see. We could board out. I don't think it'll let me. So we could board out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and board out like 3, 2. I guess it's fine. I guess we could figure that out. How we want to board against Jund. And we have our match. So let's do it. Let's see if we can get the trophy. We're on the play. And hand looks decent. So let's keep it. Just going to run to the bathroom real quick. All right, let's do this. So turn 1, Misty go. Get our green source. They are also playing Demonic Tutor in their deck. So it could be Urza is probably the most common. Let's just get Breeding Pool here. It could be, yeah, let's get Breeding Pool because we already have Cryptic in our hand. Let me just update the... We draw Verdict. Is not going to be great here. It's the Mirror. Is Danny TB on that level? It might be. Delta would not be in the Mirror, but... Okay, what's going on here? Hey, Seth66, thank you for the follow. Welcome to the Swarm of Mets. Sword of the Meek. I think we let this one resolve. It doesn't really do anything without the Thopter Foundry, but we do want to get the Quaddle in play. Now let's let this happen. We'll get the Quaddle in play this turn. Okay, we draw a land. It's good. Teferi, huh? I think we just Teferi this because it'll slow them down a turn. And then they're not going to be able to win any counter war or play War of Invention. So I think we just Teferi now. And we want to get a third blue source here. So this is one flaw that I think I want to change is we cannot get Prairie Stream here because it won't be able to enter untapped. So I think I want to put the Hallowed Fountain back on the deck. Because here I would just want to get Hallowed Fountain. So we have three blue and 1 white. But because I can't do that, I think the next best thing is Plains. It could just be Temple Garden. Which could... Yeah, let's just get Temple Garden then. But I would want to put the Hallowed Fountain back. So let's tempo them this turn. We do need... Getting the green there was good. We do need to draw a blue source now at some point, but we do have a lot of time, I think. They have the Thopter Foundry. Okay. So we know they have the sword combo. Unfortunately, because we don't have blue, but there's the blue source, so we're good. Tick this up, and we're just going to pass, and we're going to... The problem is now they have the Thopter Foundry in play, so even if we counter the other one, it's not great. Let's see. What is the best way for us to win here? They're doing something? What can they do here? They're going to make a 1-1? That's fine. Yeah, that's fine. Make the 1-1. They're going to block. Okay. So they're going to play... They're going to play Sword of the Meek. We can go bounce the Thopter Foundry, draw a card. And then, do we have anything in our main deck that can kill an artifact? I don't think so. No. Why does Moto do this? Okay. So now, let's just pass. Yeah, Urza does matter, which is why we're holding up counters, but they're passing? Okay, this does not make any sense to me because they, like, what could they do here? They can't play War of Invention. Why would they pass here? Is there any reason to, like, Cryptic bounce this? Probably, there might be. Just bounce this draw card. Could just play this too. Yeah, let's just play this. Let's not go crazy. Okay, that's gonna be fine. I'm confused by this, why you don't just play the sword. Let's attack. So now we can, like, play this Astrolabe. Tick this up. Is there any reason to not play Steve right now? Let's see. So we have 5 lands now. We have to not die to Urza, but we have Remand. So we could just play Steve this turn, go to 6, and then we still can't win next turn. We can hold... Oh, I guess we could just play this. Yeah, that's fair. Okay. Alright, I'm down for that. Teferi is definitely an interesting card that you have to know the weird, subtle interactions. Now they're playing the sword, which I'm not sure why they didn't play it last turn. So now we can go search Remand this, because now they can't play Urza. Or they'd have to have Mox Opal. Don't think we care about it. Well, they're going to go to above 18 at some point. I guess we'd have to draw a land to win. Oh, no, but we're going to have 6. No, we would have to draw a land. All right, let's let it happen. They're passing, so now we're going to cast this. Yeah, I was thinking I would Remand it, but that was my initial thought. Okay, so that should be game now, since we have this up. So yeah, let's just do that. They can only go to 17 here, or I guess 16. So let's do this. Dumb you for 18. Yeah. There we go. Take game 1. We're 1 game away from the trophy. So we're playing against, like, Grixis Urza? I guess no, it's Esper Urza. Alright, let's see. What do we want to cut now? We definitely want our counter spells. We want our Force. We want our Shatterstorm. And the Abrade. The other cards are kind of meh. I don't know if they have that many counter spells for this, so we might not want it. Bolt's pretty bad. Supreme Verdict's pretty bad. Those are pretty easy cuts. Then Acid Moss on the draw is pretty bad, and then maybe we just cut this Oak command because it only counters Urza, and we have. Maybe we want the Oak command in the deck still. Fry, sure. I'm down. I can get down for a Fry. So I guess I cut the O command. But this is only going to go for Urza. Or I guess Sai if they board that in. Oh, if they have Teferi. Yeah, that's true. Teferi is a card I forgot they play. And then as far as the last cut goes, all these cards are pretty reasonable. I guess we can cut Coatls. I guess I can leave in this cut a Coatl. This can make more sense. I don't know if I want Acid Moss. Probably not. This card's fine. Maybe on the play I board it in. On the draw I'll keep it out. Alright. Let's go for the trophy. See if we can take this game. So let's see. This hand we have Ice Fang. We have Cryptic. We do have 3 blue sources. It is really slow though. And we have Scapeshift. I'm going to keep this hand. I think I just keep this hand. It has enough going on that I like it. They have a fast Stoneforge or something. It might be hard. It's funny if we would draw like Astrolabe, we can't play it. So hopefully not. Okay. I just call it. I just snap it off the top of the deck. I'm just too good at this game. You know where it's at. Good stream moment. Yep. It's pretty funny. This could be Stoneforge. Pentad Prism. Okay. So they have a lot of mana next turn, which is kind of scary. We draw Remand though, so that was important. So we're going to hold up Remand and Coatl now. So now they might just jam the Urza. There it is. Gonna hit it with the Remand. No, don't do me like this. Don't do me like this. No. Alright, we're gonna play the Coatl now. Because if we hit a basic, we want to play it. Okay, Fry is good to kill the Urza next turn. But this is pretty funny. This is pretty funny. I'm not gonna lie. It's pretty funny. Come on, give me a basic. A basic, a Steve, or a Search. Are they not playing Urza? Or are they trying to find a land? Or maybe they have the land already? That would be... Okay, they have the land. So I assume this is just going to Urza come down. Yeah. So we get to fry that. Ashiok. Rude. Let's see if they'll activate. Huh. Ashiok. What do we want to do about Ashiok? We do have the Fry that can kill the Ashiok, but then we don't kill the... We don't kill the Urza? I have this Cryptic to, like, bounce this Ashiok or whatever. This Urza is, like, really dangerous, so I think I have to kill this Urza. And then we'll just play this tapped. And I want to hit the Ashiok here just because they have less times to activate. We've drawn no ramp and no basics. It's pretty funny. They just have another Urza. They do. So this is going to be tough. Karn the Great Creator. Yeah, that's not one I can let happen. Okay, we really do need a basic here. We find the basic, so there we go. So now we're going to start the chain now. And what's funny is that this actually lets you filter into snow mana. Find a braid too, which is nice. Let's filter this and play another Astrolabe. It's a cool little trick I learned in Pauper. We just have to get the Ashiok off the table now. And we're gonna win the game. We get to abrade one of these constructs. That's fine. It's just a redraw. They can't even activate the Urza yet, unless they have a land. They do have a lot of good draws here, though. I will give them that. Nice draw for us would be Brinkled or Shatterstorm. It's a card in our deck. Oh, they're actually going to activate this like this. They find Flooded Strand, so that's good for us. They can activate again, but they have to tap all of their constructs, and they probably want to attack us. I cut all my bolts, right? So it's possible I want to keep in some number of bolts or more quaddles. They're going to combat. So we are going to abrade one of them. It's also going to shrink the other one, so we're only going to take 5 now, which is great. And as long as we can survive a turn, they're going to 18. What is this? We might be out of basics, actually. But then why wouldn't they play this before, like pre-combat, to grow their guy? What is this? Collective Brutality. So we got wrecked here. That really sucks. Because now we lose our Scapeshift. And we lose our guy. Find Bring to Light, though. This, unfortunately, does not let me search my deck, though. So we can't play this. Ashiok's really doing us here. Doing us in. Another Urza. I might just die right now. If they can string things together, though probably not. They can go again. It's like Bolt's pretty bad, but against specifically Ashiok and maybe Teferi, it's fine. They have Teferi also. So this is double turned off now. Alright, we die. Alright, going to game 3. So they're playing a slower deck, like a slower version of it. So it's possible the guys are actually fine. Like, these bolts were also... It's like, it depends how reactive I want to be. It's like, I think my config is fine. Especially on the play. It's possible we just don't want any of this. O-Command is not amazing. It only counters Urza, but that's kind of the most important card in the matchup. But if they play Teferi, this card does nothing. So maybe I want to hedge and like just cut this. I just don't love the creatures, but they might be necessary. Like maybe just Pia. Over like this. Bolts are like bad. We also don't have a lot of guys to attack walkers. I kind of want more guys to attack walkers. The rest of the deck is good though. So it's possible I just don't want anything else. Just keep in like 2 quaddles. I think I'm gonna go with this. Could also board this in instead of this, but I think that's better. All right, let's go with this. And unfortunately, we have a non-green hand here, so I can't keep it. This hand does things, so let's keep it. Let's put back Cryptic. They have a gemstone. Put back Astrolabe. Okay. So now we're going to get Forest here. We'll lead on Astrolabe. Okay, we find the land, which is decent. Let's hope they don't have like Collective Brutality or something. They have another Astrolabe, that's fine. Bobble. They know we have a Steam Vent, but that's fine. Let's just hold up Veto now. In case they play a 3-mana walker. We don't have anything for Urza though, which is a problem. Okay, this one we're definitely going to counter. It just gives them too much mana here. They might not have another land. They don't have another land. Okay, so that's really good. So I know we have this. Kind of wanted to Teferi and bounce my own thing here. Prayer Stream will save me 2 life, which is kind of relevant. Wow, that's aggressive. What, countering this? Let's play Teferi. We're going to bounce Astrolabe. We unfortunately draw another land. Are we going to get hit by something now? They have their own Teferi. Okay. Need more than lands here. Come on, deck, give me something here. That is now bad also. Yeah, we're in trouble. We didn't draw anything. And they drew the 3rd land, which also sucked. Yeah. And they have Urza too. Alright. It's not going well now. Gotta draw something here. That kind of works. Okay. This can go up. I have to do something now. We can Cryptic to bounce the Construct and draw a card. Could also bounce my own Astrolabe and draw a card, which might be the play. Although then they can hit the Teferi down, which would be bad. Let's see. I could play this untapped, Cryptic, bounce this, draw, and then draw with this. So we're going to see 3 new cards. No, 2 new cards. And then Teferi will take 1. Or I could just kill this Construct and draw. I think I just want to draw into Scapeshift here. So I think I just play this. We're going to... We have to do this now because they have Teferi. I'm going to bounce my own Astrolabe and draw a card. Keep finding lands. I want to not find lands here. Or counterspells. Can we not draw lands or counterspells? Ugh. Okay. Do they just have us? They might just have us now. We can't counter that. Okay. So if they have Whir for 2 here, do we lose? Whir for 2 gets the stop the sword, and then they can tap that to sack it and then go off. So I think we lose now. Yeah. Because of this Teferi. I think we're dead to this. Right, because they can tap 1 and then sack it and then sack the thing. Yeah, I think we die. And then they can tap that. Yeah, so we're dead. They're going to gain infinite life. Karn, Lattice. Do they get to draw? So they can make mana every time they do this, and then they can go through their entire deck. So we lose. We get the 4-1 here. Okay, so we unfortunately did not win the last match. I still think that matchup is... Yeah, 4-1 ain't bad. I still think that matchup is probably close. So I could have not countered the Pentad Prism there. Had the vetoed the Teferi, and then that game plays out very differently. We did brick off pretty hard though. This, I want to make a Hallowed Fountain. As far as the list goes, I was pretty happy with everything. I think if I would play it, this would probably be my build. I think Bolt was pretty good there. Even against, putting in, we beat Burn, TITANShift, Jund, and the Electrodominance deck. Did not unfortunately get the trophy glory, but you know, can't win them all. I think this did pretty good showcase of like what this could do and how Astrolabe can help this. This card was obviously very good. We plenty of times bounced it with Teferi, bounced it with Cryptic Command. This might be the shell for it. Again, like if we didn't want to play 64 cards, I'm not sure how we would make this. Like what I did was cut like a Teferi. You'd have to cut this. Probably like, not the Verdict. It's just really hard. And like 2 lands, but it's going pretty low on lands. And honestly, like, it didn't feel like we had too many bad draws. We also kept a lot more hand than we usually would. Oops. And then the sideboard. Veto was fine. I cut the second Veil of Summer. I may want that back. But for now, I think the 1 is good. I've been fairly happy with the sideboard. Not sure if we need to make too many drastic changes. I've been pretty happy with this list, all in all. The Heaths are probably fine. What did we cut for? We cut a breeding pool, but this you want more snow coverage. So yeah, I could get behind playing 2 Heath. Yeah. Honestly, it was fairly decent league with this deck. I definitely want to be testing this version more, because I think it does have legs. I also did not lose any games to like miss fetching lands, just because Astrolabe kind of bails you out. So there's definitely consideration there that you lose less games to yourself by playing Astrolabe. Also, you get to keep more hands. So this might actually be the future of this deck if we can, you know, figure it out. If we don't have to play 64 cards or whatever. Sideboard is still, you know, the format's it's still new and young, so it's nothing is set in stone. But I've been happy with like these 15 cards. This is basically could be another Veil of Summer. It is easier to cast now that we have Astrolabe. So let's see. Minus a Bolt. So the problem is with cutting these 4. First off, we don't want to run 27 lands if you're running 4 Astrolabe. I think Alright, 1 second. It keeps doing this. Okay. So what I did was I cut these 2 Heath. And I cut a Teferi. And I think I kept the Bolt. What did I cut? I kept the Remand. I don't know. The thing is, like, if you're cutting Bolt and Teferi, like, your Storm and Devoted Druid matchups are going to get way worse, or, like, anything with Stoneblade. So, I wouldn't do that, personally. I don't know if 64 card is correct, but if you go to 60... we could also run, like, the 4th Cryptic at some point. We'd have to probably cut, like, Drawn from Dreams, 2 lands, and Teferi is what I cut. But I like the way this played out a lot smoother than with 60 without these 4 cards. So as far as this version goes, I think I'll continue to try 64 than 60. And like all these cards, like if I was to build, what's it called? 60 card, like, or non-Astrolabe version, what I would probably just do is cut like 4 of these in this, and then you can play 1 other card in the slot somewhere. So maybe you want like a main deck Timely, but other than that, like that's the change. Like, wonder where I was at here. You could play a Timely basically. So yeah. So I think that's where I'm at with the versions right now. Is gonna keep trying this out, and then other than that, if I'm gonna play 60, I'm probably on just like cut these 5 and play. I also change this to a breeding pool and then play like a Timely. Just because then our mana's a lot worse. But honestly, like this card is promise. This card has a lot of promise. So it's interesting moving forward to see if we can actually tune this version to be better than the other one. But it's really cool. All right, so I think that's gonna be it for me. If you guys enjoyed the content, make sure to follow me here on Twitch. We really appreciate it. And all of this is going to be up on YouTube, as well as all the updates on Twitter. And whenever I go live next is going to be there. So leave me a follow there. I think this deck is, again, still tier 1.5. I think it has really good matchups. Still trying to tune it to be good against the whole field, but we're clearly making strides in both versions. So definitely stay tuned for a lot more content with this. I have a paper MCQ in, I believe, 3 weekends, and I will most likely play some version of this deck, so we're going to keep testing it for that. I cannot play any of the modern playoff or the modern MCQ, unfortunately, because I have DreamHack Montreal this weekend. So I'm going to be playing some Hearthstone and some Super Smash Bros. Melee, which are 2 other games I play on the side. But if anybody else is playing the format challenge of the MCQ, good luck. And yeah, stay tuned for more streams coming up. Thanks again, everyone, and have a great rest of the day.